Let's talk to Greg Rubin. He is the head of trading at Axi Select. Greg, very good morning to you from London.
Morning, Nick. Pleasure to be here.
Happy New Year to you and your family. Okay, can you
Happy New Year.
briefly introduce Axi Select and its main objectives in the proprietary trading space, please?
Sure. So Axi Select in its purest form is a capital allocation program, or a prop firm, I guess is the more common word these days. Ultimately, what Axi Select is, it's a program or a platform for traders to give them the ability to become professional traders, or the ability to forge long-term careers. So it's more than just a funding program where we provide funding to traders. On top of that, we have a comprehensive program in terms of education and tools that we believe traders need to succeed. Our position in the market, or what we plan to achieve, is quite different to the standard industry model. Axi Select, we've built it in a different manner, a more trader-centric manner, as opposed to what we believe is more speculative, the actual industry in terms of demo accounts and evaluations. So we are very different to what else is out there in the marketplace.
Okay, so what are the key sort of differences basically with what's out there?
So one of the big ones is the registration fees. If you look at the industry standard model, you have to pay a fee to take an evaluation, and if you pass the evaluation, you get to the funding. Axi Select is 100% free to join. We do not require any registration fees. There are no evaluations. You just have criteria that you need to meet. We only use live accounts, where the industry standard is to use demo accounts. And one of the big things that we pride ourselves on is our trading conditions. It's all very well saying, here's $1 million and you can keep 100% of it. But if the trading conditions, as you would know as a trader, are really difficult with stringent rules and conditions, it's unlikely that you're going to make money in trading in such circumstances. So with Axi Select, we give traders the flexibility to trade how they wish to trade. And what I mean by that is we don't have any of these rules that would restrict trading, in the sense there's no rules regarding daily drawdown limits, around holding positions over weekend, trading around news events. We don't put high watermark levels in. The only restriction we have in is traders cannot lose 10% at each stage, and ultimately they need to make 5% to advance to the stage. So even that restriction is still 2-1 in the trader's favor, and a lot more favorable than what's out there. The other thing is, we know trading's difficult. We give traders 3 attempts at the program, because ultimately you are going to have a bad day, a bad week, a bad month, as opposed to, 1 attempt, send the email, you off the program. We give you 3 attempts at the program before you are entitled to start again, as long as you meet the criteria. The other thing is our offering. We are not just a funding program which says, here's your funds, are you funded, are you not funded, as you move through. We have webinars on a weekly basis. We have an exclusive trading room with professional traders in the trading room providing daily analysis, a community where you can bounce ideas off. We also have an edge score, which is a score we created in-house, which provides information about your trading, where your strong points are, and what areas you need to improve. We recently launched an edge score explainer to explain in more detail on what's affecting your score. We've got a dashboard and a leaderboard with advanced stats for traders to analyze their performance too. So we're really providing a comprehensive package in terms of getting, obviously, the liquidity and the funding, which is, very key, but also the tools and the important aspects that go with that.
So how many people are in this program currently?
So we launched in September 23, and we've had about 23,500 clients so far on the program.
Okay, so that's a decent number, right? Now you've got different stages in the Axi Select program. I think there's 6 phases. Perhaps you just run through and give me a headline on each of those.
Sure. So the stage of sets, it's a progressive steps within the stages, right, say, within the program, that ultimately the the more you prove yourself, the more funding we prepare to provide traders. So looking at the table on how Axi Select works, traders start at the seed stage, which is the first stage of the program, where they need to deposit $500 of their own funds into their Axi Select account. And ultimately, we open an account, it's called the allocation account, that trades alongside it at the multiplier. The second stage is incubation, where we offer a max funding up to $20,000. As acceleration, $100,000. The pro stage is $200,000. Then the pro 500 is $500,000. And traders who make it to the end stage, the final stage, we offer $1 million of our funds, with a trader entitled to keep 90% of that.
Okay, so that's sort of basically pay as you play. So how many people are in the pro stage at the moment?
So we do have timings that take. So as you can see on the table, we've got the duration that you have to get through. So it takes time. You can't just go from starting out, placing a few trades, having $1 million of our funds. So we have just over 50 at the pro stage currently, and 11 at the pro 500 stage. Those are the total figures so far since we launched in September. The figures have reached that stage. So 61 if you include the pro and the pro 500. We have a couple who are very close to the pro M, so hopefully we'll have some pro M clients soon. And we've got a significant amount of traders in the acceleration phase, so hopefully.
So with 23,000 people signing up and 60 people or so at the pro stage, are you happy with those numbers? Or does that just go to show how difficult the trading game is?
Well, again, a lot of it is timing, because of the 23,500 traders, some might have joined 5 months ago. If you're perfect, if you go through the stages, you've got 30 days, it's a minimum at seed, 60 days incubation, 60 acceleration. So to reach the pro stage, that's 5 months. So at a minimum, it will take you 5 months to reach there. So any trader who's joined within the last 5 months, they might be well on their way at acceleration, but they're not quite at the pro stage yet. So I do think that number will increase quite significantly as time goes by, and we've had more people who have had longer times on the program. But yeah, to answer your question, trading is difficult, and I'm the first to tell you that, and I'm the first to tell people that you're not all going to make it to the pro stage. And I think that's the beauty, highlighting on Axi Select versus the industry, is you don't need to make it to the pro stage to be able to get a benefit on the program. Even at the first stage, you get access to the trading room, to the dashboard. Even at the second stage, incubation stage, we give you up to $20,000 of our funds, 100,000 acceleration. These are pretty decent numbers of funds to trade with, which doesn't cost you anything to join. And I think that's the mindset that I'm trying to change within the industry. It's not get funded or evaluation, because either you're trying to qualify with no funding or you have funding. So it's a very different mindset.
Okay, so we've talked about the sort of criteria or benchmarks for a trader to advance to the pro stage from a timing perspective. What are the other criteria for that? Is it purely down to P&L?
So it's the profit target of 5% at each stage. So those are the two main criteria: make 5% versus don't lose 10%. If you lose 10%, you go to quarantine and you get your 3 attempts at the program. The other criteria, which is of course important, very important, is the edge score, which is the in-house score that we've created that judges traders' performance. And of course, the higher the score, the higher or the more funds or the more we believe in you, the more funds we prepared to give traders. So as you can see on the table, the edge score requirements to make seed, you have to have a minimum of 50. To qualify for incubation, you need to have a score of 60. Acceleration, you need to have a score of 70. And then for the pro stages, you need to have a score of 90.
So in terms of how do the payouts work? Let's assume that I'm going up the ladder. Is that tiered as well?
Yeah, so the payouts are automatic at the end of the month. Before the first day of the month, funds are sent automatically. The funds that you're owed are sent automatically from the allocation account straight into your Axi Select account. So it's a big issue within the industry right now. A lot of firms or traders will say they haven't been paid or they're not getting payouts. So having automatic payouts, we completely remove ourselves from that situation, and traders are paid immediately, automatically, without any complications or any problems. I think that's very important to acknowledge that.
And in terms of those payouts, are they different on the different stages? in terms of how it's paid
Yeah,
out, why it's paid out?
so again, referencing the table, you can see the profit share at incubation is 40%, acceleration is 50%, Pro is 70%, Pro 500 is 80%, and then the Pro M is 90%.
Understood. Now, in terms of traders, okay, they don't.
So just one more thing there. It's important to add, the only stage that traders don't get paid out is the seed stage. So the seed stage is the first stage of our program. There's no profit share, but you do get access to the dashboard, the leaderboard, and the edge score. So there's still a benefit for qualifying for the program and being at that seed stage.
Okay, but at the seed stage, you're trading your own money, right?
So all stages you trade your own money. So the way it's set up is traders have their Axi Select account, which is their account with their own funds in. And that's at the seed stage. The trader deposits $500 into, or minimum $500 into that trading account. We will deposit $5,000 into an allocation account, which is our account with our funds that will trade alongside it. So if the trader deposits $500 and we deposit $5,000, that will be copied at a multiplier of 10 times. So if they buy one lot of gold, we'll buy 10 lots of gold. And that's the way it will multiply. And then traders are entitled to that profit share at the end of the month, depending on the stage. Of course, there's no profit share at the seed stage.
Got it. So in terms of transparency and fairness with the payout process, you've indicated that's a problem in the industry. How do you ensure that there's transparency and fairness?
Again, we're a broker. We've got a reputation. We deal obviously with a lot of volume and a lot of flow, as opposed to a lot of the newer firms who are in the space and just dealing purely on the prop firm side of it. So for us, credibility, transparency is paramount. You can see that everything we do within our program. So to take that out, we have automatic payouts. So there's no looking at accounts aside, or there's no, a lot of, again, unfortunately, we've seen stories of liquidity problems. Because if you look at the standard model, it's money that people pay for registration fees, money in, versus when they get funded is money out. So there's a conflict of interest in that sense that ultimately you need sometimes firms will need to get more subscriptions before they can afford to pay out if they're liquidity drained, liquidity issues. Again, not all firms, there are plenty of firms who have good risk management tools and aren't dealing in such simplistic terms. But unfortunately, what we have seen in this industry over the last year or two, since September 23, we have seen a lot of firms struggle on the liquidity side. And the first sign that firms are in trouble has been a delay in payouts or not paying out or refusing to pay out. That's normally the first sign that there's trouble to follow.
Understood. Let's talk about success in terms of some of the more successful traders out there. Any stories you can reveal, and sort of any edge on a trading style, or is it just a question of buying the Magnificent Seven and sitting back and watch it rip up? Dare I say it?
So I could sit here and give you stories and take you to some success stories that we've had, but I think it's better and more genuine coming from actual traders. And it's something that we've been doing recently is we've been interviewing traders in-house, and some of the stories are just unbelievable. So there's so many of those. You can get it on our website. You can get it on the internet to type it in. And we plan to do a lot more. We're so humbled when we hear these stories and you see how many people coming forward willing to say how much they love the program or how it's changed their life. There's one that I saw recently where somebody started with $500 and now has $500,000 off funds trading, and the guy's 21 years old. So it's just amazing, but it's something we pride ourselves on, the program that we have offered, and we have a week, well, I say a weekly show at the moment, it's weekly, we are seeing these videos appear. So you can hear it directly from the traders themselves. I think that's probably
I've definitely taken a look at
better
that.
way to do it.
Okay, so there's an argument that trading is, 90% sitting on your hands and 10% looking at the markets. And, how do you support these traders, okay? Because, being an ex-trader, as we both are, it's the most difficult game in the world, right? And the danger times are sitting around when you're not doing a lot.
Absolutely, but look, take just a step back. When we started learning, what was the natural course of a trader? You would pick up a few tips, you'd see a few analysts that you liked, you might copy them a little bit, you'll get a few, you'll blow up a few accounts, you have no idea about risk management until you finally start to take that more seriously. And so you learn and you learn. It takes time till you can actually start your journey. with Axi Select, we try and accelerate that process. Of course, people are still going to blow accounts. Traders are not just suddenly all going to become multi-millionaires from trading, and Axi Select is going to be the answer for all of that. We're realistic on what we can and can't do. But what we can do as a broker, as a firm, is to level the playing field, give traders a fair opportunity in the space to generate profits and forge careers. And we can do that by providing liquidity, and we can do that without charging a fee. So instead of the situation of charge fee versus payout, it's a situation of, well, we have a score, we can determine your level, and the higher your level, the more of our funds we can give you to trade. So we solve the biggest issue in trading is we give liquidity to traders, and the better they are, the more liquidity more of the funds they can access. We bring that community. That's something that I found early, is a community, and that really helped my own trading in 2011. I started in 2007. In 2011, it took me 4 years to find my community that I'm still a part of now, a certain type of analysis. And we bring that together. So we've got a trading room where there are professional, experienced traders in that trading room, daily analysis, weekly webinar on different educational content. I actually did a Q&A there a few weeks ago, just over Christmas time, to provide to understand where traders are, on what more we can do, how we can help. So we're very conscious of that with the education part that we put out there, and the learning material. It's all saved, and viewers can, members can view the actual videos. We've got a dashboard, and that's something we're working hard on at the moment, on to create a more advanced dashboard with even more interactive tools for traders to analyze their stats. So that's hopefully will be coming as the next version will be coming out in the next 6 or so months. I don't want to put a timeline on it just yet. I shouldn't have put a timeline on it. We are working, maybe sooner. We are working towards creating that at the moment.
Okay. And in terms of timelines for the future, anything else sort of other than the improved dashboard on the horizon?
Yeah, so the improved dashboard is one thing. We've just launched the Edge Score Explainers, and so far that's been really successful. We've seen a lot of good feedback regarding that, but ultimately we will still look to advance that. So that's the first iteration with regards to that. In terms of the actual product, MT5 is something that we would like to offer as well. It is something we're currently looking into. At the moment, the platform we offer is MT4. And we got a few other things I can't mention just yet, which are quite exciting. So,
but the boffins are working away. Okay, so an aspiring traders watching this video, what would you say to them, to entice them to look at Axi Select?
Well, I don't think I need to entice anyone. If you look at the structure of it, I think that's a very good question. If you're a trader already and you're trading in another broker, there's really no downside to Axi Select. And what I mean by that is it's 100% free to join. And if you lose, you lose your funds at another broker. But if you make money, you get to keep the money you make plus on our funds. So if you're making money at another broker, there is no downside to Axi Select, because you'll just get a bigger amount at the end of the month. You get your funds plus the percentage you owed in our funds. And of course, you get the trading room, the dashboard, the leaderboard, the edge score explainers. So in that sense, it's really risk-free, and it makes a lot of sense for traders at other brokers. And that's something that we've just tried to get that message out, to kind of explain the process. And we are not a prop firm in the natural shape or form where you've got to pay a fee and you have to make money in a certain amount of time. So from an aspiring trader who's already started their trading career, it makes a lot of sense. There's very much the opportunity and the funding there to get $1 million of own funds. And even if you can't get $1 million because your score isn't high enough, or it takes a lot of time, any funding is better than no funding. And that's the big difference. I should add, of course, your funds are on the line, in the sense if you do trade and you lose funds, you can lose your funds. So there are certainly risks for new traders, or traders who have never placed a trade before, and then they join Axi Select. There's definitely a risk that you can lose funds. My reference was to traders who are already trading at other brokers. There is really just a lot of upside.
So do you do any sort of analysis on curriculum vitae? So I remember when the Life Floor opened in 1984, and every whiff and stray was sent down there. And it was great because it didn't matter about your background. It was open outcry trading. And this would say to me that really it doesn't matter your background. If you can trade and make money, the door's open. And so many decades in the city, that's not always been the case, right?
Absolutely. And that's the beautiful thing about Axi Select. It gives people who wouldn't ordinarily have a chance, who have access to potentially large sums of funding. And when you see the stories, to see people's lives actually being changed by having that sums of money to manage, you would know in the traditional prop firms or going back to starting career in the city, it was very difficult to get access to such large sums of funds. It took many years before you could prove yourself to be able to trade. If you do this perfectly, you can have $200,000 in 5 months. Again, it's not going to be easy. I'm not saying you should have that. And that's, funny enough, I don't know if I want to go down this path, but that's considered slow within this industry. When you look at
But
the way
historically, it
they
was a
kind of
3 year. But historically, it was a 3 year track record, right? Before anyone would even
absolutely, you have to
consider.
know that. Correct. But again, the game has changed a lot since then, and that's why I find it, if people are offering you $200,000 within 2 weeks of trading without seeing a track record, you just know it's not real. And I think that's kind of the message that we have is we don't we don't promise you have large sums of money in a short space of time. We don't tell you place a few good trades and you're going to have access to all those funds. I'm the first to tell you trading's difficult. It's a long, hard game. But if you have the talent and you've got the skill and you've got the dedication, or Axi Select is a platform that can take you to that next level and give you that opportunity to forge those careers.
Okay, we've run out of time. If anyone wants to talk to you, can they talk to you? And if so, how do they get in touch with you?
Absolutely. So the exclusive trading room I talk about, I'm actually there every day. I'm not always active in there, but I do see messages on a daily basis. So I do interact with members, and if there are questions that direct at me, that's where I do answer them.
Understood. Greg, Happy New Year. I'm sure we'll talk later in the year. I shall follow by all accounts, a great success story in terms of the numbers you've talked about. So well done.
Thank you, Nick. It's a pleasure to speak to you, and hopefully we continue on this trajectory by the time we speak again.
Perfect. Well done. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.